What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Cannaflix, the #1 cannabis talk show over here on Twitch. We got a pretty cool show lined up for you, so grab your buds, grab your drinks, grab whatever you're puffing on this fine afternoon. Things are going to get started here very shortly. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Cannaflix. The show's going to get started very shortly. We got a pretty cool guest lined up for you today, so you better have lots of buds, lots of water to drink. The conversation's gonna get incredible. Make sure you're in for a long haul, guys. Cannaflix be starting very shortly. What's going on at Cannaflix? How are you guys doing on this Tuesday afternoon, man? We're getting ready to bring you guys pretty much one of the guests that I've been trying to get from the get-go. I reached out to Heather. I said, this is the list that I want. We've been knocking off all top 5 of those. This is the last guy I've been wanting to have on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, welcome to the channel, Jorge Cervantes. How are you doing, my friend?
Wow, Joe, pretty good. See, tell me, where are you in the basement?
I'm in the basement right now, man. I hang out in the basement. I smoke in the basement. I grow in the basement, man. Now you're...
Wow. I've just been wondering what all that stuff is behind you and everything. Anyway, you probably tell me about it. And that one thing, that blue thing back there, you know, in Mexico, they got the lucha libre. Those guys chant like championship wrestling. I was wondering, is that one of those masks?
That's one of those masks, man. Absolutely. That's one of the masks. I actually got that mask when I was in Dominican Republic, and I remember I went and bought this mask. All my friends were around the pool. I came in smoking the cigar out of the mask, and I body slammed my brother into the pool just like the wrestlers did.
Yes. Viva lucha libre, manito. I love that stuff.
Jorge, man, I am so pumped to have you on the show. Your name has been coming up since the day I started growing cannabis, man, and you're an absolute legend and an icon. Now, you probably look at yourself as a regular dude that smokes cannabis, but, man, I'm so glad to have you on the channel. Where are you calling in from? Where are you stationed right now, buddy?
Right now, I'm just, right over there is the Mediterranean Sea. Let's see, I don't know. There's my finger. Right over there is Mediterranean Sea. I'm just south of Barcelona, Spain, and I live here. I've been, I've been in Europe for a long time. I've done a little bit of traveling and stuff, but I like Spain real well. The cold snap is over. It's starting to warm up. So it's pretty nice. I'm
excited to kind of dig into your whole story, man, and kind of get an idea of, like, realistically who you are, man, because I only know you through this fucking book, man, that I've been using since I started growing, man. This, guys, if you don't know, this is the Cannabis Encyclopedia, and it is full of so much stuff that it's going to blow your mind. Now, one question that I wanted to ask you out of this right off the bat, Jorge, maybe you remember, maybe you don't. Do you remember what strain that is on the cover of this?
No, I don't. You have to look it up. That's why, I mean, you know what? I learned this really important thing. I was like reading this Einstein stuff, and he says, never, you don't have to remember anything that you can look up. So you don't have to remember shit. It's really good stone tip.
It's just a waste of
Einstein says this. Einstein, the Albert, the guy with the hair.
He's fucking hell of a lot smarter than us, isn't he? So,
well, no, actually, he said he just technically, yeah, but actually just says he works really hard, and that was the secret to his success. Yeah.
I think that's probably the secret to, like, a lot of people's success, man. And, like, you guys, like, and what I mean by you guys, these legacy growers that really started way long before we were allowed to do this, man. You guys put in a lot of work, man. Like, tell me about when it started, man. Like, how old were you when you started growing this plant, man?
When I tell you, first time I smoked was in high school. I can say all this stuff now because I don't have to hide. You know, I used to wear a disguise for, I don't know, about 25 years, maybe longer. but anyway, yeah, I grew up in Ontario, Oregon, and they were telling us all this just BS about cannabis and how you'd be a heroin addict if you tried it and stuff. I tried it and I thought, damn, all those guys are wrong, number one. And number two, they're either stupid because they believe all this stuff, or two, they haven't done their homework. So it gave me kind of like a problem with trust and authority and stuff after that.
Yeah,
But
man.
really, I grew a few different times, little stuff, and pretty much we had like fluorescent lights when I started. They were bad crops. I made a lot of mistakes, I killed a lot of plants. Uh, and then, but my first real crop where I was in like the mid 70s. Yeah, mid 70s. Mid 70s in Santa Barbara, California, actually Montecito, California, in San Isidro Canyon. And I think they have a big mudslide there.
Yeah, so a
Um,
lot of people
Few
aren't
years
aware.
ago.
Like Jorge Cervantes was like your pin name or your secret name, but now it's your real name. Like you've been called this for forever, man. So like when you were hiding, Jorge, like and not hiding, but like when you were doing this undercover, man, like how many guys were like with you? Were you by yourself, man, doing all this growing, or did you have like a crew of people? Like,
No, no, you can't. You don't talk. Nobody talks. Nobody talks. That's the rule. You don't talk. Nobody. Rule very simple. Don't get busted. There's only one rule. Very simple. And the other thing is you don't talk. The only reason you talk to anybody is if they're directly involved. And you also see these circles, how they come together. This grower knows, or these guys know these guys, like that on social media and stuff.
yeah.
Well, see, you never let that happen. You never touch this circle with this circle.
Now was
Don't.
that more so that like you get caught or got buddy gets caught, he doesn't rat that guy out, or was it like competition? Like you guys didn't want to be
No, no, no.
friends?
You don't know I mean, you just want to save your ass, and you don't talk, and that's it.
Yeah, man.
Uh, you can talk to other people. You can make story. A lot of people make stories up. A lot of people lie. Okay, here's a funny one. One time we're over at my friend's house, Steve Rogers' house, right? And he goes, and this guy comes over, blah, 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 and he's talking and everything. And I'm sitting there, and he's telling how he knows Jorge Cervantes, and he's his good buddy. I mean, these guys, my buddies, they kept asking him questions and stuff. I had to leave. I was laughing. I was gonna give him away. I mean, I had to leave.
You're
It
sitting
was
there in
just
the
funny.
same fucking room and he's talking about you like he's seen Batman before.
Well, yeah, no, he knew me. He was saying all this stuff about me, but it was really easy to tell stories. It was real easy to fabricate stuff because there was no way to check it. Now we got ways to check stuff, and
Yeah,
it's really important that we check it.
I think a lot of those stories have changed though now. Like now I find like what I mean by
Yeah.
that, Jorge, is now you got people telling different stories, right? Like there's people out there that say they've got the original skunk or they've got the original strawberry cough, and now there's these stories that are in the breeding game, right? So like when you
See
guys
that? See this? That's who these guys are.
jerk offs, a bunch of jerk offs, you're right. So like back when you were getting genetics, man, like I want to put myself and I want to put the followers like back to where you were. Like how were you finding genetics, man? How were you deciding what you wanted to
Um,
grow?
I didn't really know too much, to be honest. I had nobody knew boys from girls. That was a hard one. We didn't really have much information. We didn't have the internet. Uh, People would call like hydroponics. They would call it hydrophonics. You know, like a music.
Yeah.
What's Oh man, there's just all kinds of BS. You hang plants upside down so all the resin will drip out. Uh, they would call THC tick, for example. The guy that talked the loudest, kind of like now, the guy that talks the loudest is the one that is everybody listens to. Not much has changed in that way. There was some guys, some real things that happened They're like Mel Frank.
Okay, I'm
He,
familiar with the name.
yeah, well, him, and also Ed Rosenthal, but it was Mel Frank. I give him really Mel the credit because he was the actual breeder. You see, he was in the Navy, and then after he got out of the Navy, he took biology, biology, mainly biology. So he was pretty well educated, and that's when he did most of the research and wrote basically the most of the grower's guide, and that was like a life changer. And then another guy, and this is a weird story. This other guy, Bill Drake. Bill Drake.
Okay.
He's man, I've been corresponding with him for years. He's like 10 years older than me, I think, maybe 8 or 9, I can't remember. But he lives in Portland, Oregon. I was able to meet him. And finally, after corresponding so many years, well, he wrote a book called what was it? Cultivator's Handbook of Marijuana. Yeah, and he spelled it even with, I think it was with a J. I can't even remember what was H or a J back then.
I'm
How
showing
he
them it here
spelled.
right now. So it's the Cultivator's Handbook of Marijuana by Bill Drake. You can
Yeah,
pick it up
yeah,
right
yeah.
here.
The guy is great. He's like, and he lived in Eugene, Oregon at the time. He had a hell of a time getting the book published or getting it printed. I think they formed an association and printed it themselves. I'm not sure. He'd be a real good guest to have on. The guy he's incredibly articulate and very well educated. He's a great interview. But I was fortunate enough to meet him. Yeah, and he helped a lot. Other people way back then, well, I don't know, there's what was his name back then? Jingles, it changed several times. I don't know what all I can say about it. He does, he denies a lot of stuff. Uh, but I mean, I'm not stepping on him.
No,
But
but
I'll
it's
tell you, Sam, the skunk man, the guy is, he did a ton of stuff, and wonderful guy, total respect for him. And then Rob Clark did too. Everybody kind of went over to Netherlands after a while
now
because
when you were in the USA.
early on it was different. Nobody knew anything, and we're all kind of stupid.
It's so funny, eh? It'd be like a bunch of fucking teenagers learning how to have sex for the first time, right? Everybody's doing it the best way back then. Like everyone's
Well,
doing it the
yeah.
best way, no matter who you were, right? The cool
Well,
thing. Go ahead.
well, I just think about Woody Allen when they ask him if was this like if sex was dirty, and he says, "If you do it right, it is."
Isn't that the truth, man? It's so funny, eh? He's actually.
Well, there's taboos everywhere.
Oh, there always
Taboos
will be,
and
man.
taboos make the mind run.
100%, man. We'll always be the stoners, right? But I think it's cool now that the stigma is being lifted a little bit. And I look back at guys like you, like I'm a 38-year-old guy. I've only been growing for 5 years, but I've been growing weed for a long time, and I've had this book for almost 10 years. So I bought the book way
Huh.
before I started growing because I always knew that I wanted to try to figure out how it was done. Now, while we're talking about breeding, one of the unique things that I love in your book, and I haven't actually tried it, but I've been dying to ask you, is you talk a lot about like light cycles and how that can really change the effect of a regular cannabis seed and determine it to become female or male depending on what light cycle you used. Where
Yeah,
did that come
yeah.
from?
There's a bunch of stuff we just don't know. We really don't know. That right there was stuff that was in journals earlier, but that right there I got from Dutch Passion. Hank over there at well, he's up north, he actually, well, I'm not going to tell all this. So anyway, that's first. Anyway, but the deal is, yeah, it's like 16 hours. You give 16 hours to an early plant, and that's supposed to work. And there's a whole lot of other stuff about light that, man, it's way beyond me. There's like people that are better educated than me that have done the actual research that know what the hell they're talking about, and then they'll tell you what they have learned so far, and then the rest they tell you they don't know.
But
But it's usually the person that's really knows stuff. They only tell you what they know, not what they think they know.
yeah, but the cool thing about your book, man, and one of the cool things like that is, I think there's these, whether you call them myths or some people call them bro science, and all these things that we do in the garden, even whether they work or not, or whether they're scientifically proven. I think it's cool that I've read a bunch of them in there and I tried it, right? And I think the cool thing that we're doing, and the cool thing that this book does, is motivates people to just get in the garden, man, and start growing. That's what made me want to grow, right? Was that your passion? Was that your intent? Was that what you were trying to do?
No, I mean, I told you that high school story and the people telling me, pulling my leg, and I thought it was not really too cool. And then I went along and along, and I wrote that I'm out here at the beach. I'm not at home, so I can't show. But you can go to my site, Jorge-Cervantes.com. It's probably in the comments or something. Anyway, you can go there and you can go hit about Jorge, and you'll find it's just about, it's like on top of the page. You'll find 50 books I wrote, 50 books in 8 different languages. And the first one was this one. I had a survey in it, like 10 question survey. And I asked people, questions and stuff. Because I mean, I go out and ask questions and find out what people think. And then I know. And then I know what to write about and what they need to know and stuff. I mean, it just makes sense, right? I mean, instead of thinking I know all this shit, I want to know what they want to know. And anyway, so I asked him some questions, and it turns out like most people are just making stuff up. And I asked him about what they wanted to know. Everybody thought I was a narc, because, I mean, you hear that, but have you heard that word for a long time? Narc? Nobody uses that anymore. I mean, fucking narc.
It's so funny though, too, because like you probably like appeared to be a narc, right? Like you're going in asking questions that no one was asking before.
My hair was
man.
short.
Like,
My hair was short, and it was a different color, and I didn't have these fucking wrinkles.
oh fuck, dude! I love your personality. You're just so down to earth, man. Like,
no, it's just true. I mean, tell me something about that statement's not true.
before you were growing, man. Like what kind of articles were you writing, man? Before cannabis, like what were you into besides that?
Well, I grew up. See that town, Ontario, Oregon. It's right next to Idaho. It's right on the Snake River. That makes the border. Um, and anyway, oh man, they can sell. It's a big polemical because they can sell cannabis there, and all the people from Idaho come over. It's really a big deal. Actually, these guys over at Hotbox, yeah, they moved into the old state police station. I know the state police station. I've been there a few times. Anyway, they bought that, and they sell cannabis out of there. And so I mean, those guys are kind of like my heroes. And then there's another buddy of mine. He had to sell it. He's got cancer now, but maybe I shouldn't say that. But his name is the place is called Burnt River Farms, and it's right on the highway, or right on I-84. Yeah, but they started dispensaries there. But growing up, it was pretty horrible because dope kills, it'd fuck you up. But everybody's redneck. Everybody's redneck over there when I grew up there. And we hunted, we went fishing, all of that stuff. That's what you do. And if you were a doper, you were like you had problems.
Man, this Burnt River Farms place looks unreal. Like we don't got dispensaries like that in our city. I'm showing them right now. So they're growing in greenhouses, eh?
Yeah. No, actually, there's a bunch of stuff going on over there. There's this other guy, Dave Stone. You got to check him out. I put him on He moved over from Trinity County. I went over and hung out with Dave. Dave's great. And he's like, like a normal guy. Well, I don't know, kind of eccentric a little bit, but to me, he's a normal guy. There's all kinds of great stuff happening there, and he's helping people learn. There's all these guys, that are helping people learn. That's all I want. I just want to help people learn and stuff, and what do you call it? Inspire, but let's see, a better word, not inspire. It's
I,
instigate.
I think it's in, I think it's
Insight. That's it. Insight.
I
That's what
think
I
it's
want.
it.
But that's what
I
it used
think
to
you were
be.
right. I think you were right on Inspire, man. Like it's weird, right? And it's got to be weird for you too, because like you started in this weird era where like you were putting clones on your backs, man, and putting these in the ground, right, and doing all this craziness, and then now like you're kind of this cannabis celebrity to a sort, man. Like, do you know what I
Yeah.
mean by that? Does it feel like that for you, or are you just still a regular dude, man, smoking weed and sharing this positive plant? Like,
It's kind of weird to be really honest because I just, maybe I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm not really sure. I didn't really expect things to work out quite like this. I figured cannabis would be like legal in 5 years from when I started 83. First book came out in 1983. I print it with my own hands, print it with these
wow.
hands here. Nobody else would print the fucker. Nobody. They wouldn't do it. Everybody called me, but well,
Like they're just telling you, like, we're not fucking printing this or we're not putting this in. This is too
no, I
controversial.
submitted to a bunch of publishers and they said no. And that's it. So then I make my own printing company and I start printing it myself because I worked at the newspaper. I can say all this shit now. Ontario Argus Observer. The Argus Observer is like this animal that's got 100 eyes that can see everything. So that's what that means. And anyway, so I worked there. I fuck man. Let me check. I still got this fucking still, I
Oh,
don't
he's
know. You
got the
can't
fucking.
probably shit. This for a long time, I had this hot lead burn right here from casting pig ingots. That's when they have letterpress. Letterpress. You put the who's that guy? Gutenberg. He makes the type and he puts the press on it. The
Oh
ink
yeah, I
on
know
it.
what you're talking about now. You had me there when you
Yeah.
threw the word off. I'm like, that's kind of sounds like somebody that was in a German army, but I know what you're talking
No,
about
no,
now.
no, no, no. It's hot lead. I got hot lead. I got burned on my arm. But the scar, I don't know if it was this arm. I can't remember. Got that one. It's gone now. Then there's this other one where I ran a drill through my hand. That was really stupid.
Jesus. Just amazing, man. I think it's so neat what you just said there. You're like, I can say that stuff now because even
Yeah.
now, like you can say that stuff now, but there's still stuff that I don't say on my other platforms. No, Twitch is a little bit different, but like I still work a full-time job, right? Like I work for a very large company and I'm scared to this day. Like you just said it about the newspaper company. I'm scared that I'll lose my job. Now, you thought it would be 5 years back
Déjalo,
then.
pues, déjalo porque hace ruido esto.
You thought it'd be
Somebody
five
just came
years.
to the door.
You thought 5 years back then that it would be legal. What's your thoughts like today? What do you think's going to happen from here on out?
Man, I don't know. I mean, money gets injected in, and all the politicians change stuff, and I don't know. Whatever is convenient for them. But one of the things that I did see was after the Cold War was over, the United States didn't have any enemies, so they chose cannabis people, and that's when the drug war got really bad. And then disassembling the big machine that they made, like the jails, the prisons, the legal system, the indoctrination that they gave everybody. And, it takes a long time to ramp all that stuff up. Well, you take that and you go, oh, okay. You take that and what happened is you got to ramp it down first because see, all those guys believe that crap. They believe that stuff. They're making money at it. They're making a living at it. They truly believe what they've been taught. So they've got to be they've got to unlearn it or go a different direction, and then they got to build up something else, because a lot of people making a lot of money there. Now they got to go another direction, and they got to make money somewhere else. So you got to disassemble and then reassemble, and that's kind of what's going on now. So it's way more complex. I mean, I wish I could say, oh yeah, it's going to do this. Don't worry about it. I just keep smoking, and that's what's going to happen, dude. I don't know.
See, and I find that, you know what I find crazy about that? I find it crazy that, like, there's people out there making these decisions, and then there's fucking guys like you, there's guys like Ricky Williams, Tommy Chong, like tons of people that we even had on here. Why the fuck aren't they why aren't they bringing you guys in and like picking your mind and being like, hey, what do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of this? Now, obviously, you guys are going to be biased to make it legal, but like, it's fucked. I find it crazy. And whether it's you or something, maybe there's a higher person above you, and there obviously is, right? There's always somebody that's more information, that has more knowledge, right? But like, I just find it weird that we're not in some of these conversations, right? And hopefully it comes to that at some point, but keep doing what you're doing, man, because there's a comment in the chat right now, and the comment is, I wish I had a superpower where I could take this book, touch it, and absorb all the information on it. So this book, if you were to put it into like time that it took you to write this and put this together, how much time is in here, man? How much knowledge?
Let's see. It took to just sitting down, beating my head, looking at the screen, all that stuff, research 6 years. And then I asked a lot of questions. I was pretty good about checking facts, not all of them. Yeah. But let me tell this guy a couple things. You can keep going like this, hitting yourself with it, maybe an enter, I don't know. And then the other thing is, though, you can talk English or you can talk Spanish, and you can go to my website, marijuanagrowing.com, marijuana with a J, marijuana.com. It's probably somewhere there in the comments, or I don't know.
Right now, buddy.
Yeah, marijuana, growing, marijuanagrowing.com. You can go there, and we've just uploaded the first 6 chapters to the Cannabis Encyclopedia, and we're going to upload all 27 of them, all 27 chapters, all like 600 pages. And it's big, like A4 format, or 8.5 by 11 inches. And it's both in Spanish and English. Spanish never came out before. I got it translated, but it wasn't viable to sell it. I mean, it just cost too much, and people didn't have the same. So I'm giving all this stuff away, right? And that here, Stefan, you put your face here.
Come in and tell them what you're doing here.
He's the smart one. He's the guy that talked me into it. He goes, look, dude.
Blame me.
Look, man, this is smart. This is what you should do. And I go, I don't know. I mean, it's it scared the hell out of me to do that,
Yeah, I think I might be smart. Joe is the funniest, but here we have a legend. So let's put things straight here, please.
Yeah, well, but anyway, I got to say that, and then we keep putting these things up there, the chapters up there. And like I say, it's right now it's in Spanish and it's in English, and it's well translated.
Where can I find come on back on screen there real quick. Where can I find the chapters?
Well, it's like on the front page, dude.
Yes. You go marijuanagrowing.com, and there is guides. And the first one is the encyclopedia. And when you click on encyclopedia, you're going to find the first 6 chapters.
Yeah. And then there's a little arrow up on top. You click that, you go to Spanish flag, or it's actually, from Spain.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Right here.
Top
right here, guys, free. You can get this book. And when I bought this, I think it was $89 maybe, $69.
Yeah, Canadian. You got, is that soft cover or hard? You got the soft cover.
Soft, but it's beat. I make sure that, like, it's beat to crap. There's folded pages in there. I got notes in there too. I even got one note in there, man. I wish I could find it right off the bat, but it goes, "Fuck, I want to be a good grower." That's all it says.
There. That anyway, this is free.
We're showing it right on our screen here now too, guys. So you click in here, guys, and there's all the chapters for you. That is fucking unreal of you guys to do, man. Thank you for doing that for these guys.
Yeah, he decided to do it, you know. And then, but here's the thing. I got a bunch of. Well, I don't have a bunch of them left, but not that many really. So anyway, once those are gone, that's it.
Oh, that's a bonk. Yes. And maybe just to make sure people don't insult you after, they are not all there yet. We have the first 6 chapters uploaded.
Yeah.
And every week we're going to put more. So this is a
but you know what, guys, like, realistically, go look at the free ones for sure, because that's awesome.
Oh yeah.
And he's going to keep signing them up, so make sure you sign up if he's got an email list. But like in here, guys, I know you can't see this that well, guys, but like in this book,
now look at that. See, look at those that one picture with the like the discrepant
the deficiencies.
Nutrients there. Open one of those. See, I got a chart. Those things have been copied. Okay, this is one of the reasons it's free on the internet. Or free on my site. Please go to my site. And sign up the mailing list too. I'm giving other books too.
That's awesome, dude.
Doing a bunch more. But the thing is about those photos there, they have been copied and pasted around so many times. People don't even remember it's like public domain stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But if they're really, if they look, there's this little marijuanagrowing.com on the pot, because you know most of the guys are too lazy to erase that.
100%, man. I've used them. I've used them in some of my videos before just to show the deficiencies. But guys, for everybody in the chat, the cool thing about these deficiencies, it will actually give you all kinds of different scenarios to try too. I can't find it here right now. There it is, right there. I think it's page 375, I believe, if I can remember. Yeah, 378, but it shows you calcium, magnesium, and then it gives you a full breakdown, man, of some stuff that you can try. I'll be honest with you. 90% of the time, this book works every time. Every time, guys.
And then here's the other cool part, because I'm really fortunate, you know, I was around early, but now, like, so many people, they know way more than me, way more. And so I'm asking them to help. And so now we got a community and stuff.
Dude, man. Jorge, we're speaking.
So then we got more of this stuff going on. And you know, I mean, I'm one guy. I could do so much. But we get 2 guys, they do like twice as much. What if you get a whole shitload of people?
Fucking
That's
right,
a
man.
shitload of stuff you can get done.
You're speaking my language too, man. When I talked to Tommy Chong, he said serendipity. He talked about serendipity, and everything happens for a reason, man. Like, I talked to Heather when we first started this show, and I said, I want Jorge, and then the only other guy that I haven't got yet is I want Snoop Dogg. But one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on, man, is like
he'd be really good. He's really good guy, you know, like strong. I mean, he's a good guy. He's honest guy.
I wanted people to realize that Jorge Cervantes has taken a full community of people and then brought that community together through his knowledge and skill and put all that into a book, right? Which I love, man, because I love collaborating with the community, man. That's why I wanted to get on here and chat with you, because I see you on all your fucking YouTube videos, you're in other people's gardens, and you're always giving people the time of day, man, because, like, we're busy as human beings. But, like, we talked about it, man. You have a passion for this plant. You're going to have to continue to share it, and now that you're giving it away free, that's fucking awesome. I've got one more question before we go into some of the questions from the chat.
Also, you can get in Spanish too, and we make more languages too, because world doesn't start in the English language, doesn't end in English language. It's a lot of language. You know, they talk a lot of Spanish. French is another. You know, I mean, there's a lot more languages.
100%. We got a lot of, actually, I'm in my in my DMs a lot, I'm going over to Google Translate and translating my English to Spanish just so I can communicate with some of these guys, right? So
yeah. It's very good.
it's
very
pretty
good.
cool, and there's lots of cool growers out there. So
the door opens.
100%, man. Why wouldn't you open it up, right? So real quick, chat, make sure you put in hashtag FastBuds giveaways, because on all these lives, Jorge, these guys are actually giving away free genetics for people to try. So that's what we do over here to the community. So you're giving away a free book, and we're going to give away free genetics. I wanted to get back into some of your growing habits and like some of the stuff that you did back in the day. And one of the major things that I really want to know, man, is like you've been busted a few times. Like, how fucking?
No, I'm not. A short time in jail. That's it. Just very short.
So,
but no.
Do you remember the first time, man? Can you run me through the first time? Do you remember?
I ran. I didn't get caught.
You ran.
But yeah, sure.
Oh fuck!
The fucking helicopter was over the top. They were chasing down this canyon, and I hid under this big rock, and then I hit a bunch of stuff that was under this rock. I was pretty scared because I could look up and see. I still get scared of helicopters. I hide every time I see them. It's really hard not to hide, or you put a hat on, look down.
Are we talking like how many plants are we talking are up here? Like how many are you growing at this time?
I don't know. This was like in 1977, 76, 78, 78. I don't know. They were all like Colombian bag seeds and Mexican sativas. I can't remember how many were there. I had to bring up, and you only have seasonal water from the creek, I had to bring up there. It's like, I don't know, it took about an hour to walk up there, hour and a half after driving. Hour and a half after driving, and you had to cover your tracks. You couldn't take the same road all the time, because they didn't have, nobody was feeding cows up there or anything. So you couldn't, a lot of times you can take a cattle trail and that'll cover for you. But then now you have to take different trails, right?
Oh, because if you walk in the same one, you're beating down that footpath.
It's like a clue.
Yeah.
It's like, go this way. The guy's dope's over there.
He's over there.
But I took up, the hardest part was like, I took up, what was it, like a 3 horsepower Briggs and Stratton motor and a 1.5 inch pump. Those are heavy. It's all cast iron. Some of the stuff was not, the pump was cast iron, but the other one had aluminum block on it. But the hard part was like hauling those damned. Because see, you got to do this all at night. It was hauling up the PVC pipe, because it's like, you can cut them in two, but they're still 10 feet long. That's like 3 meters, three meters and change. So you got a bunch of those, like that many. Looking around, you hear something, you got to hide all those pipes and stuff, and they're white. They're hard to hide. So you got to get that stuff up there, and then you got to put it up there, and then you got to run the pump. You got to run the pump. The pump makes noise. I mean, you got to have like 3 mufflers on it or something. Then you got to build a shroud around it so it shunts down into the ground. It's like
for all the viewers too,
guys. It was a bit of work, but all the old guys know this.
Well,
the old guys know this. This is like common stuff.
The reason why I brought it up, man, is because like that's what I thought was really cool about this book, and is why I bought it early. I was smoking weed at my buddy's house, and I remember it like it was fucking yesterday, man, because I made my very first triple-decker peanut butter sandwich. What I mean by that is I made a regular peanut butter sandwich, then put peanut butter on both sides and fucking threw another piece of bread on her. But the cool thing that I liked about it, man, is you show all your fucking grows, but you don't just show the plants, man. Like, you show how you Jimmy rigged some stuff and how you fucking you made shit work, right? And one of the neat things was like there was 5 different ways to dry. And I know myself, I've been in situations where I need to like dry weed fast. Tell them one of the ways of how you used to dry weed fast, like quick.
Oh man, there's a bunch of them. You put on some, take aluminum foil and put it on there, put it on light cover, on the above a lamp, and then it gets hot, and then it cooks it pretty fast. You can there's a bunch of ways. You just think about it. It's pretty simple. You just got to dry something, take the moisture out of it. But the thing is, you should learn that there's moisture in it and how to draw that moisture out. See, my goal has always been teach people so they don't have to fucking ask me. They should be able to do the stuff themselves, not me. I mean, one of my sayings, what is it? It's like, you can do this at home.
Yeah, fucking 100%. That's my saying too, man. It's like, if I can do
go
this,
ahead.
I'm a stoner that can do this. You can do it. One of the ways that I used, I actually took the weed, put it on paper towel, and I fucking microwaved it. I got this from your book, so I'm like, I need to get high. I just grew this plant. I'm just going to fucking do it. I don't give a shit, right? I put it in. Obviously, it's not the best way, guys. We're not recommending microwaving your weed here. But, man, it did the trick. Within like 30 seconds, I'm smoking my first plant that I grew, man. I'm like, this is amazing. So thanks for that, Jorge, buddy. Your little trick got me through. I wouldn't have thought to put it in there. I'm like holding lighters to it and shit. I got it on tinfoil looking like a crackhead trying to cook my cannabis.
Yeah, but see, there's some big problems with that. It's all the latent stuff stays in there, the pigments and all of the biology and stuff stays in there. You dry it too fast, doesn't have a chance to dissipate, tastes like hell. 100%. And then another thing that there's several things that happen with that. Yeah, but you should like dry it more slowly. It tastes a lot better. And then too, when you dry it too fast, that's right. Like all those terpenes and stuff, they volatilize real quick, or they disperse into the air, and they do that, and that's you lose the flavor. It tastes like it doesn't taste too good.
100%, man. It's like going all through all the process and then just trying to smoke it too early, man. You got to let it sit. It's kind of like wine in that way, right? It's gonna get better with a little bit of time.
Yeah, it depends on the kind of wine, all kinds of stuff. It's not like A or B or C or this way only. No, it's everybody can, and so much changes. Or, it's not a perfect science. I mean, man. There's stuff you can do, and sometimes it's better, sometimes it's not.
100%, and sometimes there's 8 different ways to do it. It doesn't matter which way you do it either, right? Which I fucking love that about growing. Now, we got a lot of people in the chat. They got a lot of questions for you. And I want to ask one of them for you right off the bat. Everybody always asks this, what's your favorite strain, man? What's the favorite strain that you like to smoke?
I like, it's an old one, Northern Lights 5 times Neville's Haze.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I love Northern Lights, man. I love Northern Lights. Now, and then another question is...
I'll tell you what. There's this buddy of mine, Colin Montgomery, and I'm going to interview him in the future. He's sorting out some stuff. He has made some really, he's done a lot of research, and I love the research he's done, because you talk about this, I mean, you touch a nerve with me. He's done this thing. It's like real scientific. He's a scientist guy, right? So he's got this spreadsheet like this, and he puts in the variety here, and then he gets all these guys to say what the history is, right? I help him with some. I tell him what I know and who I can verify. And
what's his name?
Colin Montgomery. I'm going to have him on first, not you. I'm going to have him on first on my show, not you.
I'm just saving him here. I appreciate you. Well, Colin Montgomery.
Nobody knows him. Nobody knows him well. He knows well. A few people know him, but he's like a lot of people. They don't like to stand up and make a lot of noise. There's no reason to. I mean, knowing something's one thing, but everybody doesn't have to beat their chest or beat on some drum or something,
I think that's so cool.
Anyway, the interesting thing is what he did, and what he's still got going. And I want to help him even learn more. but he's got this matrix that he put together, the strain number here or the here, and then different people and what their story is about it, how it originated and where it came from, right?
Yeah.
And one of the ones is Northern Lights. That's going to kick everybody's ass. It's funny. It's real funny. And the thing is, he told me what to do, the people to look up and stuff. And he told me to ask these questions. I asked these questions, it's right in front of me. I had no idea.
Oh,
so it's
fuck.
like really, yeah.
I'm not even going to ask you what it is. We're going to save that. They're going to have to go
over.
Oh,
no, I can't tell. I told him I wouldn't tell because he's the one that did the work. I mean, he told me to ask the question. I asked the question. I gave him the data back, but he's the one that did all the data and shit.
Where will they be able to find that interview? Will that be over on your YouTube channel?
I haven't made it yet. I'm gonna make it in the future. We Stefan and Colin and me were talking the other day. I've known Colin for for a few years, and that's why we got together. Well, he just made sense. He asked me to help him. A lot of people ask me to help them, and usually it's I say no because it's like not real good reason. You know, they don't have very good reason to help them.
I think that's a pretty cool one, man. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, it's very cool. It's very cool, man. It's like it's all right.
When you're done interviewing him, I would love to interview him because one of the things that I do, Jorge, over on my YouTube is...
Okay, you're number 2, right?
Yeah, I'm number 2. You're number 1, I'm number 2. I would be your number 2 any day of the week, dude, man.
We're good.
I'd be your number 2 any day of the week. I'll be your Robin any day, Batman.
Some people get weird in this industry and they try to fucking jump you.
No, dude, man, I'm all about just fucking meeting people.
The other people try that and I don't like that. No, they don't show very much respect for anything. They make stories up, and that's
see, this community has like changed my life in a weird way. Where like I normally, obviously, I'm a very outgoing guy. I love to fucking chat. I love to talk to people. That's what I normally do in my regular life. Like I would go hang out with my buddies. I go play golf. I play hockey. I do this. But over the pandemic, man, I spent so much time online here that like a lot of my friendships are online here now, man. So like,
yeah,
it's pretty neat what we're doing. Like we talked earlier when we were setting up the live, and one of the things I said to you, man, is like, you've got to continue to do this for the rest of your life. Like it's just what you have to do. The fact that you're giving away for free now, man, that's super cool, man. I had no fucking idea. I was going to tell these people, go buy the damn book. Now you should go buy the damn book too, because the pictures are where it's at, man. The photos are where it's at.
Oh, listen. Okay, yeah, those drawings, you know, the deficiency and excesses, those drawings, I had to go through fucking seven press checks. 7 press checks. Cost me $15,000 fucking dollars to go through 7 press. The color is correct.
Dude,
it's
they're
fucking correct. It's not, because if you have the wrong color, it's not correct.
They're to the point where like
correct.
I'll get people in my DMs and they're like, can you help me with my plant? And I'm like, listen, send me a video, send me a picture, and I'll try to help you. And then what I do is I send them a video of this, and I'm like, listen, this is what it appears like. This is what it appears like. This is what it appears like. And then typically I'll send them a link, and I'm like, this is where I bought it from. Because when they buy,
really?
If they buy through Amazon, if they buy, well, listen, I make a bit of money on it too, because if they buy from Amazon, the links pays me like 2% or 1% or something. But I've just been doing it because I know that like if they follow that, it's worked for me, so it worked for them. It's kind of like the old grandmothers sharing their recipes, right? One of the recipes I wanted to get from you, man, is like, so people that are making hash now and pressing rosin, is that something?
Yeah, I'm okay with that stuff. I'm not really so good at it. That's like, they were making a bunch of it in Colombia, over there in Cauca and at Valle de Cauca, and they got these. They got them from China. They had a couple of these guys I know. They had a couple of presses, you know.
Well, what I was gonna say is I saw you make hash before with a warm bottle of hot water and wine bottle, and then parchment paper and keef. And I seen you just kind of fucking rolling it. So then I did it one day with like the keef at all my grinders, man. And I'm telling you, chat, it's the easiest way to make hash, but the flavor of this shit was so unbelievable, man. It was so fucking fun, dude. I love that we get to connect on this because it's a full circle movement for me and probably a lot of people in the chat to see guys like you that are coming on shows and just shooting the shit and chatting. So who's your guy that you wanna talk to? Who's somebody that you haven't had a chance to talk to yet? Any celebrities you want to smoke weed with or anything like that, man?
No, not really. I mean, that really is not such a big deal to me.
I'm just fanboying over here then.
I just if I want to know somebody, I just go over and meet them or something, a lot of times, it's important not to force a meeting. You really, some people get real pushy and stuff that I mean, that doesn't really work for me. I'm kind of, I don't know, let stuff happen. You run into people at the right time, I guess, because every time I try to push something,
just pushes right
I got
back.
bad timing and stuff. Because, like the last few years, they've been hard for me. I've tried a lot of stuff. I spent a bunch of time well, no, 4 or 5 months in South America and Colombia, Mexico, and I went to school. Well, you can go find all this on my
No, keep telling me.
Site, but
I want to hear this.
I went to school in Mexico, and then also in Spain too. But I got old Mexican connections. I mean, old friends and stuff, and a lot of Latin connections. I mean, I live in Spain, right? So I know it's a big part of my life. And the guys that live up in North America, see, they tend to go hang out with the Brits and Scots and Irish and the Aussies and stuff. People talk English because they got the commonalities. Well, here in Spain, see, they have like Latin America, and then a few colonies. There's one colony in Africa. What's that called? The little one, it's a little one, it's really weird because everybody there's like real, I mean, Black African, but you listen to them, they sound just like from here.
It's so like weird. I know what you're talking about now. I can't think of the name of it off top, but they sound
Spanish Guiana.
Yeah.
Guiana Española. Guiana Española. It's just like this. It's like kind of like Rhode Island or something,
Yeah, and they almost sound American.
Like African size, so it's like huge, but it's not real big for Africa. Yeah. Spanish Guiana. Yeah, and I got several friends, and they're really good guys, but it's just funny, the accent.
Now, to this day,
but there's all kinds of people in Latin America. That's why it's really, really important to me to make sure that there's a lot of growers there,
Yeah, man. And a lot of
they got some great dope too. They got some great dope. I mean, we used to have this great dope, and I went to University of Americas in Cholula. They got a big pyramid there. It's a pyramid at Cholula in Puebla State. And in fact, well, I mean, there's going to be a bunch of Mexicans show up at the show. I mean, Julio Zunil, he's going to be here. He's from Cáñamo, Mexico.
By the show, we're talking about Spannabis, correct?
You're Spannabis. Pardon me, Spannabis 2023. It starts Friday, goes Friday through Sunday.
So we gotta see you at the Fast Buds booth with a picture with Heather. We gotta get Heather.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll be there. I love those guys at Fast Buds, man.
Oh,
they're here in town. Kind of like know each other,
We're gonna meet at some point, man, because I work with Fast Buds. Fast Buds have been in my garden since the first day I started growing. They were the first autoflowers I ever started because for me, man, I didn't have much equipment. Autoflowers just kind of worked for the light cycle. And then I fell in love with them, man, because they gave me so much variety and so much cool genetics, right? But the cool thing is we're going to meet because one of these days I'm going to be at Spannabis and I'm going to be in Spain. And I can't wait to fucking smoke a joint with you, man, and shake your hand. And thank you for all the help you've done in my garden, man, and so many others. Like the chat just loves you. Go ahead.
Well, here's the deal. Now, you've got a responsibility. I am too. and you're helping these other guys. See, that's really important because some people, they don't, they kind of forget, but it's really important to remember that. So you're doing, fucking Joe, you're doing a good job, dude. I like it. It's a
I
good job.
appreciate that, man. Thank you so much, buddy.
Oh, true,
and,
true, man.
And before we leave, guys, in case you're just getting here or you've been here for a bit, you're going to head over to marijuanagrowing.com, guys. This is where you can find the books, and there's also a free download for a book over here. But realistically, guys, get your hands on the paperback or the hard copy. If I could get a hard copy, I would love to get one of them. If I ever find one, I'm going to get it signed up by you, man. But this one's been holding well because I leave it here on my garden bench underneath. But the pictures and stuff are pretty incredible, man. Before you go, man, before we leave, chat, make sure you put in hashtag.
Wait. I gotta one more book. I gotta flog one more book.
Yeah, 1 sec. We're going to do that. Make sure you put in hashtag FastBuds giveaway, guys, because the giveaway is going to happen at the end of the show. We got lots of time, man. I just want to make sure.
I don't know. I mean, I just hear you say it
getting
before.
the stuff. Listen, we're not sending you out here. Go ahead. What's the other book that I've got? Let's see if it's the same book. You go ahead and say which book.
They call it it's marijuana horticulture. And they call it the Bible. And I tell you, the one thing about that book is I'm very proud that it won the name of the Bible. It's not my name I give it. It's everybody else give it that name. It's they say pick up the Bible by Jorge, and that's that. And that book's probably helped more people. I mean, it sold over 1 million copies, and it's in print, and I don't know, Spanish, Italian, German, Dutch. It was the first. It was in Dutch. Marijuana Binnen. First big book in Dutch.
This is here in Spanish, guys. We're showing you here in Spanish, but it's available in all kinds of languages. This is what everybody calls the marijuana Bible, man. This is what they're calling it, the Bible. It's kind of funny to call it the Bible, considering you put a fucking drill through one of your hands. Yeah. I mean, you can see this. You can see. I don't know. This car kind of. You can see it here. I see. You can see it on the back of your hand for sure. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, goes all the way through. I missed most the tendons. Got this one. Well, old stuff.
What are you doing now for fun, man? Like, are you still growing, or are you more just involved in heading out and sharing the knowledge, or what are you doing now for fun?
I haven't been growing so much. I live in the city, and we're in March 7th right now. So it's Northern Hemisphere, so it's cold. And I live in an apartment. Cannabis is tolerated here. You can grow it. You can grow it yourself at home. There's legal protections for it. But my apartment's kind of small, and also I travel quite a bit, or I have been. I don't like to travel like I used to travel about 4 months a year, and quite well. In Europe, I've been a few continents and stuff.
And are you traveling for cannabis events? Is that what you're traveling for mostly?
Yeah. And then for about 5 years, I will go back to America, because I will go back there 4 times a year to see my brother who passed away with Alzheimer's, and so I would spend as much time with him as I could.
And is he an older brother or younger brother?
No, he was my younger brother. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. I got a brother too, man. I'm the younger brother. Was he like involved in the weed shit with you too, or no?
No, never was. He was actually, he did a lot of stuff in his life. He was actually he had some major accomplishments. He was a sensei in judo.
Oh,
cool. Like a black belt, what black belt is?
Yeah.
Well, he had a red and white striped belt. That's
I know
beyond
exactly what you're talking about. 100%.
Beyond black belt. I mean, you could look at him and it's like, he wasn't afraid of anything, but he never fought with anybody, ever.
Would he smoke cannabis?
Ever. Yeah, we smoked a couple times, but it just wasn't for him. It wasn't, he was okay with it. But it just wasn't for him, and that's fine. Some people like it, other people don't. It's the way it is.
I find it so unique that that you said that he did the martial art, because a lot of people in my following, I got a lot of people that do martial arts that actual grow too. And it's
Well,
they go hand in hand, man. So it's like, it's weird how like the growing and the martial arts are kind of hand in hand, because there's certain ways to do things, but there's also your own flow and vibe in there, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of unique, man, that you guys were both doing things that a lot of people consider to be same things, man. That's kind of neat. A lot of people in the chat saying sorry to hear about your brother, sorry to hear about your brother as well, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. He was a wonderful man. Thank you.
Another question I had for you, man, before we wrap things up, is a lot of people are asking me for like tips on the best way to grow. And I'm sure you've been asked this so many times, and I know what my answer is, and I tell them to just get in the garden. What do you say to those people, man?
Keep trying stuff, plant more plants than you plan to harvest, because you'll probably kill some. Grow as many as you can. Make mistakes. It's okay. Plants don't talk back. I could say, here's the tip for the day. I don't know. There's a lot of tips, it depends on stuff. A lot of times people ask me, they go, well, Jorge told me this. Like, okay, so what? Did you apply it properly? Did you do it? Did you pay attention? Or are you just like using my name, and if you make a mistake, then you're not responsible, Here's the thing. You should just be responsible for your own stuff, and read all you can, pay attention, do everything. But follow basic rules, man. I mean, it's a plant. There's 5 things. I got it down to this. Light, air, water, nutrients, substrates. LAWNs, lawns. You got 5 things there. You make sure each one of them's full 20%, 20%, 20%. Because you make this one 15%, or this one 12%. That means they're all 12%. That means you have 12% times 5. That's not good. That's what you pay attention to. You take responsibility for yourself. And if something sounds really, really stupid, it probably is. And it's just it's a plant. It's a plant. Follow the rules of plants.
Dude, man, that is probably the best answer. So many people loving the lawns. So many people loving Jorge.
LAWNS. That's it's simple. I've been working on one. Okay, listen, I got questions for your audience. Yeah. So because you got all those French speakers there. So I need some acronyms for other languages too. I was trying to think of one. I ran it through the anagram thing and all that stuff for Spanish. We might, and then the languages change, they change, but you got to use base words to come up with this stuff. I need some more acronyms. So that'd be really nice to have some more acronyms. People come up with them. That'd be kind of nice. Then like they can be involved. They can help.
That's a cool thing, man. I do have quite a bit of French people. You should make that into a quick reel. Just kind of film yourself saying, listen, looking for an acronym for this in French. Help me out. And then I'll get a bunch of people to share it. We'll all share it, man. Because that's so cool that you're doing that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's a good idea. I
told Stefan he'll make sure I do it.
And you want to make it right? You want to make it right so that it makes sense.
We have a deal. We have a deal. We got a deal. He'll do it. Yeah. He says, Jorge, you make sure and do this, and then he organizes it, and then I do it.
That's amazing.
I need help. I can only do so much. I can't do stuff without everybody else. Everybody got to help.
And Chad, if there's anybody French in there, head up to Jorge and we will set you guys up some acronyms. Listen, guys, it's been a fantastic show. I'm Grower Joe. You already know who's over here, man. Jorge Cervantes. Make sure you check out his books, guys.
Stefan.
Bye.
They're all over here, and Stefan's there as well. Here's the website, guys, one last time. Make sure you check him out, man. He's been doing this for a long time. And
5 decades. I'm entering 5 decades now.
5 decades. I called him old earlier. He said he wasn't old. We're going to get old together, buddy. And we're going to keep sharing this awesome plant, man. Thanks for having you on. Thanks, chat. That's it for me. That's it for Cannaflix. See you next time.